Morning, everyone, and good afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. Thank you for joining us. We've got an amazing service, a very special service for you today. We hope you are all having a wonderful holiday season and a very special Happy Hanukkah for those of you celebrating this time of miracle and lights. Now, the holidays are a time of coming together, and this service is exactly that. Today's service is special because it is a joint service where Unitarian and Universalist congregations from 3 different countries have gathered together in friendship. Here in this call, we welcome members of the Dublin Unitarian Church and the Unitarian Church Cork from the Republic of Ireland. We welcome the Lancashire Collaborative Ministry, a union of 3 English congregations, the Padiham Unitarian Chapel, the Rawtenstall Unitarian Church, and the Chorley Unitarian Chapel. And, of course, we welcome the members and friends of the Fourth Universalist Society in the city of New York in the United States. My name is Schuyler Vogel. I serve as the senior minister here at Fourth Universalist. And in all the mess of this past year, for me personally, the relationships that we have formed with our friends from Ireland and the UK have been a real bright spot, a real source of hope and fellowship. And I know many in our community here in New York feel the same way. So thank you to all of you for that. As we begin, I invite everyone who is here to introduce yourselves in the chat. There's a little button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. It might be blinking orange. Introduce yourself, say hello, say where you're calling in from, maybe what congregation you're part of. And if you're joining us for the very first time, if you've never been to a service from Fourth Universalist or from any congregation here, know that this is still a place for you. It doesn't matter to us how you ended up on this Zoom call. If you know no one else here, or you live some other place that's not in one of our 3 countries that we are leading the service from, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself, you can take our visitor survey, which is in the chat. Now, today's service is special not only for our coming together. For our Irish congregations, the second Sunday in December is traditionally their major Christmas service and celebration. For us Americans, think of our Christmas Eve service. It is a great honor then for us to be included in this beautiful holiday tradition. Thank you. As is tradition, this service is one of lesson and carols. It's a unique form of Christmas service. Instead of a sermon, lessons and carol services are full of music and readings, creating an almost rhythmic exchange between song and spoken word. We hope you enjoy this service that will last about an hour. And afterwards, we invite you to stick around for a virtual coffee hour. We'll break up into small groups, and it is a wonderful way to build relationships between congregations and meet new people in small groups. So thank you all again for being here. Let us join together in this worship. Get comfortable, grab coffee or tea, take a few centering breaths. I invite one of our Fourth Universalist ministers, the Reverend Jill Bowden, to light our chalice, as we do here in New York.
Hello, everyone. The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. At Fourth Universalist, we light our chalice with the following words that we say together each week. I invite you to say them along with me as Soyal posts them in the chat, and light a candle or a chalice at home if you have one. You can find the words in the chat box. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our power to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy, and to serve the spirit of freedom in the fullness of community. Thank you. And again, welcome. Mike?
And a very good afternoon. Welcome to the Unitarian Church in Cork, in Ireland, where it's a wet, cold, and windy day. We too light a chalice flame this hour. In this holiday season, throughout the year to come and always in our lives, may we know that we are loved. May we share the love we have, and may we be the love we wish to see.
It is my pleasure to light a candle, our chalice, on behalf of the Lancashire Collaborative Ministry, which was founded in the early 19th century. Most members were work people and artisans. We light a candle as a symbol of our faith. By its light, may our vision be illumined. By its warmth, may our fellowship be encouraged. And by its flame, may our yearnings for peace, justice, and the life of the Spirit be enkindled. It is my honor to begin this service with a reading. It is an adaptation of the 1 Corinthians famous passage that most of us will know. If I decorate my house perfectly with played bows, strands of twinkling lights and shiny balls, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another decorator. If I slave away in the kitchen, baking dozens of Christmas cookies, preparing gourmet meals, and arranging a beautiful, adorned table at mealtime, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another cook. If I work at the soup kitchen, carol in the nursing home, and give all that I have to charity, but do not show love to my family, it profits me nothing. If I trim the spruce with shimmering angels and crocheted snowflakes, attend a myriad of holiday parties, and sing in the choir's cantata, but do not focus on the Great Spirit God, I have missed the point. Love stops the cooking to hug the child. Love sets aside the decorating to kiss the husband. Love is kind, though harried and tired. Love doesn't envy another's home that has coordinated Christmas china and table linens. Love doesn't yell at the kids to get out of the way, but is thankful they are there to be in the way. Love doesn't give only to those who are able to give in return, but rejoices in giving to those who can't. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Video games will break. Pearl necklaces will be lost. Golf clubs will rust. But giving the gift of love will endure. Thank you.
Good morning, New York. Good afternoon, Lancashire, Cork, and Dublin. Welcome to our service of carols and readings. In Dublin, this is the favourite service. Usually the tree would be decorated, the choir tuned up, the church filled to capacity. And in Dublin, we sing traditional carols, and we certainly don't believe the words, but we sing these songs because they bring magic to us. They have the ability to transport us to a different place. As we sing the songs just for a while, the world becomes a more loving place. Hope brightens, and peace in the world seems a real possibility. Our chalice lighting. We leave aside the routine of habit and enter into the brightness and hope of Christmas. We come to warm our hearts at the cradle of the child. May the beauty, mystery, and promise of this lovely old story fall like silver rain on our broken dreams. May the light of Christmas bring hope. May its warmth banish hate and mistrust. May we once again join in the music of hope, peace, and goodwill to all mankind.
All right, thank you very much, Reverend Bridget, and good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. What a wonderful, wonderful sight this Zoom room is, I have to say. It's so, so wonderful to see that in a time of such doubt and such confusion that gatherings like this point to such hope and such solidarity. So thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to introduce the first musical selection today. My name is Sean Mays. I'm the Director of Music here in New York at the Fourth Universalist Society. And it's a pleasure to be sharing with all of us the first virtual creation that our choir has produced in this time of virtual existence as we find ourselves in. Friends, we could have never anticipated the events of this year would have led to singing that production being something that we know is not as safe right now. But we look forward to doing it in person again soon. And in the meantime, it is so great to be able to create and remember why we enjoy creating, and especially as we gather in community with each other. So I'd like to share with you a video recording of a piece that we call ourselves Casual Choir here in New York. And that is just that. We are a musical ensemble here at our congregation that gathers based upon need and based upon seasons. And of course, certainly this is one of those seasons as well as we enter into the holidays. And for the last 5 to 6 weeks, we've been working on a piece of music together, all virtual, done over Zoom, recorded separately, and then combining them together. And I have the great pleasure of being able to share our collective creation. In the video, you'll see some of the lyrics just to share the warmth of what the song is talking about, which I think speaks to all of us at this time. And you'll also see some members of our choir as well in photos and selfies of themselves doing their thing at home and recording. And there are many more as well who aren't visually represented. But again, we are very lucky to have this be the first time that we did this and have it be quite the success, which I think you'll hear as well. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce our first musical piece of the day, In the Stillness of Winter by Victor Johnston, by the Casual Choir of Fourth Universalist. And I hope you'll enjoy.
In the stillness of winter, beneath the cold December sky,
the earth is all aglow with a coat of fallen snow as we dream of winters long ago.
in the stillness of winter, as we gather by the fire, loved ones we hold dear, gather far and near, greeting each other with a cry.
wintry air.
The lakes and rivers are still, frozen by winter's chill, and the stars gently fill the moonlit sky. The stars gently fill the moonlit sky. And in the glow of candlelight, we celebrate this winter night, and we bask in the warmth and the hope it brings. And as the snow falls from above, we fill our hearts with joy and love, and tidings of peace to one and all. Glad tidings of peace to one and all. One and all.
Bridget.
Sorry, I will repeat that. I realise I was on mute. Our first reading from Dublin is a piece called Hark the Hairy Angels Sing. Our reader is Dennis Conway. Dennis sent it on video because he wasn't sure his connection from London would be reliable. So from Dublin, Hark the Hairy Angels Sing. It was written by Robert Fulgham.
Hark the Hairy Angels by Robert Fulgham. A Sunday afternoon it was, some days before Christmas, with rain, with wind, with cold winter gloom. Things to-do list was long and growing, like an unresistant mould. Temper short. Bioindex negative. Horoscope reading suggested caution. O tidings of comfort and joy, fa-la-la-la-la. This holy hour of Lord's Day bliss was jarred by a pounding at the door. Now what? Opening it, resigned to accept whatever bad news lies in wait, I am nonplussed. A rather small person in a cheap Santa Claus mask, carrying a large brown paper bag out thrust. Trick or treat, Santa Mask shouts. What? Trick or treat, Santa Mask hoots again. Tongue-tied, I stare at the apparition. He shakes the bag at me, and dumbly I fish out my wallet and find $1 to drop into the bag. The mask lifts, and it is an Asian kid with a $10 grin taking up most of his face. Want to hear some caroling? He asks in sing-song English. I know him now. He belongs to a family settled into the neighbourhood by the Quakers last year. Boat people. Vietnamese, I believe. Refugees. He stopped by at Halloween with his sisters and brothers, and I filled their bags. Hong Duck is his name. He's maybe 8. At Halloween, He looked like a wise man, with a bathrobe on and a dish towel around his head. Want to hear some caroling? I nod, envisioning an octet of urchin refugees hiding in the bushes, ready to join their leader in uplifted song. Sure. Where's the choir? I'm it, says he. And he launched forth with an up-tempo chorus of jingle bells at full lung power. This was followed by an equally enthusiastic rendering of what I swear sounded like "Hark the Hairy Angels Sing." And finally, a soft-voiced, reverential singing of Silent Night. Head back, eyes closed, from the bottom of his heart, he poured out the last strains of "Sleep in Heavenly Peace" into the gathering night. Wet-eyed, dumbstruck by his performance, I pulled a $5 bill out of my wallet and dropped that into the paper bag. In return, he produced half a candy cane from his pocket and passed it solemnly to me. Flashing the $10 grin, he turned and ran from the porch, shouted, "God bless you," and "trick or treat," and was gone. Who was that masked kid? Hong Duck, the one-man choir, delivering Christmas door to door. I confess that I'm usually a little confused about Christmas. It never has made a lot of sense to me. It's unreal. Ever since I got the word about Santa Claus, I've been a closet cynic at heart. Singing about riding in a one-horse open sleigh is ludicrous. I've never seen one, much less ridden in one. Never roasted chestnuts on an open fire. Wouldn't know how to, even if I had one. And I hear they're no big deal anyway. Wandering wise men raise my suspicions, and shepherds who spend their lives hanging about with sheep are a little strange. The appearance of a newborn king doesn't interest me. I'd just as soon settle for some other president. Babies and reindeers stink. I've been around them both and I know. The little town of Bethlehem is a pit, according to those who have been there. Singing about things I've never seen or done or wanted, dreaming of a white Christmas I've never known. Christmas isn't very real. And yet, I'm too old to believe in it and too young to give up on it. Too cynical to get into it and too needy to stay out of it. Trick or treat. After I shut the door came near hysteria, laughter and tears, and that funny feeling you get when you know that once again Christmas has come to you. Right down the chimney of my midwinter hovel comes Saint Hung Duck. He is confused about the details, like me, but he is very clear about the spirit of the season. It's an excuse to let go and celebrate, to throw yourself into holiday with all you have, wherever you are. I'm it, says he. Where's Christmas? I ask myself. I'm it, comes the echo. I'm it. Head back, eyes closed, voice raised in whatever song I can muster the courage to sing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thiran Nivrian, and I'm a member of the Dublin congregation. And I'm going to read you a piece by G.K. Chesterton called Why I Believe in Santa Claus. What has happened to me has been the very reverse of what appears to be the experience of most of my friends. Instead of dwindling to a point, Santa Claus has grown larger and larger in my life until he fills almost the whole of it. It happened this way. As a child, I was faced with a phenomenon requiring explanation. I hung up at the end of my bed an empty stocking, which in the morning became a full stocking. I had done nothing to produce the things that filled it. I had not worked for them, or made them, or helped to make them. I had not even been good, far from it. And the explanation was that a certain being, whom people called Santa Claus, was benevolently disposed towards me. Of course, most people who talk about these things get into a state of some mental confusion by attaching tremendous importance to the name of the entity. We called him Santa Claus because everyone called him Santa Claus, but the name of a god is a mere human label. His real name may have been Williams. It may have been the Archangel Uriel. What we believed was that a certain benevolent agency did give us those toys for nothing. And as I say, I believe it still. I merely extended the idea. Then I only wondered who put the toys in the stocking. Now I wonder who put the stocking by the bed, and the bed in the room, and the room in the house, and the house on the planet, and the great planet in the void. Once I thanked Santa for a few dolls and crackers. Now I thank him for stars and street faces and wine and the great sea. Once I thought it delightful and astonishing to find a present so big that it only went halfway into the stocking. Now I'm delighted and astonished every morning to find a present so big that it takes 2 stockings to hold it, and then leaves a great deal outside. It is the large and preposterous present of myself, as to the origin of which I can offer no suggestion except that Santa Claus gave it to me in a fit of peculiarly fantastic goodwill.
Now we have a piece of music. It's from members of the Dublin Church playing a traditional Irish carol called Don Ihe Ud Imeho.
and a very good afternoon once again from Cork. We now have the first of two readings from our church this afternoon, the first of which will be read by Pierce, who is a member of our church.
Hello, everybody. Today I'll be reading a piece called Emmanuel by Sarah Schuyler. Emmanuel means God is with us. Who is your Emmanuel? Who is your God is with us? The one you were promised, the one you have been waiting for. For the ancient prophet Isaiah, he was a boy soon to be born who would guide the people of Judah back to peace and harmony with God. He would bring hope for victory and greatness in the tribe. He would be a gift from God to his chosen people. Who is your Emmanuel? Your God is with us. For Christians, he is Jesus of Nazareth, the baby in the Christmas story who grew to be a remarkable teacher amongst the Jewish people, whose ideas about love, forgiveness, and justice changed the world forever. Who is your Emmanuel? Your God is with us. Perhaps your Emmanuel is a political leader, standing for the rights of the oppressed, a Martin Luther King, a Gandhi, a Mother Jones. Perhaps in their work, you feel God is with us. Who is your Emmanuel? Your God is with us. Perhaps your Emmanuel is an artist, bringing transcendence to the human spirit and lifting our hopes and dreams into the light. A Johann Sebastian Bach, a Vincent van Gogh, a William Shakespeare. Perhaps in the presence of great beauty and creativity, you feel God is with us. Who is your Emmanuel? Your God is with us. Perhaps it is a child, created from our bodies, the child who is filled with the potential to do every great thing. Your promise from God that the world has hope for justice and beauty. For in the presence of a child, we too can feel that God is with us all. Thank you.
Our second reading from Cork this afternoon will be followed by a piece of music which will be introduced by Neil. And Neil now reads our next reading.
A Christmas Poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Their old familiar carol played, and wild and sweet the words repeat. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night till day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then from each black, accursed mouth, the cannon thundered from the south. And with the sound, the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. It was as if an earthquake rent the hearthstones of a continent and made forlorn the household born of peace on earth goodwill to men. And in despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Now we will have a flute piece by Dr. Virginia Giglio.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ember Kelly, and I am the Director of Religious Education at Fourth Universalist Society in New York. And I am coming to you live from the very distant from New York, New Jersey. I'm very honored to get to share a story with you all today. And I tried to choose one that was a little bit tailored towards the young and the young at heart, and that is also quite popular in the US. So I found a nice abbreviated version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas to share with you all as a way to reflect on how we can also discover the Christmas spirit. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town. The Grinch then comes up with an idea of how to steal Christmas from these Whos that seem to love it so much, to take all of their presents. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Whos still abed, all the Whos still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Whos, he was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that there's no Christmas coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Whos down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded very merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or the other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with the load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
Now I invite you to take a few moments for quiet contemplation. So settle yourself comfortably. Eternal Spirit of life, we are grateful that at the very darkest time of the year, there comes to us the brightest festival. Let the gladness and the joy of its promise open our hearts. As we make our way through the Christmas season, may we not become too entangled in its noise. Remind us of the gifts of quiet joys and peace. Teach us that we cannot hear the songs of the angels until our hearts learn to sing them. We remember that the most important gifts we can give to one another cannot be wrapped and put under the Christmas tree. The most important gifts do not cost a great deal of money, but they are priceless. The gift of our time shared with family and friends. The gift of patience, humor, and a kind word will not reduce the bank balance, but it can change someone's entire day. Show us whose needs are so great that the things we really need are close by. Our greatest gifts are family, loved ones, and community. At Christmas time, help us remember to put love at the center of everything we do. At this time of year, let us believe in hope, that even for a short time, that we can make this world a better place. Let us believe in peace, peace beginning with ourselves, and then reaching out to all people of the world. Let us practice goodwill towards all humankind. As we reflect on hope, peace, and goodwill, the things that are the essence of Christmas season, make us dream dreams and be daring in our dreams. Dreams of hope, peace, and goodwill. Then let us put our hands and thoughts to making those dreams a reality. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Bridget, for those words. Friends, let us sit in silence together as we absorb that which we have heard, and let our hearts receive them. In this time, even though we are apart, the needs of the world remain. In this time of social distancing and isolation, we believe that coming together and building the bonds of community is all the more important. It is in this spirit that we gather here today. From all across the world. Our offering today is also in this spirit and will be shared with the Unitarian Universalist Partner Church Council. The UU Partner Church Council fosters and supports relationships between UU congregations and individuals around the world. They are guided by the goals of being a bridge that connects congregations around the world by creating transformational opportunities for pilgrimage and hospitality, for learning and for service, for challenging ourselves theologically and to open ourselves to changed values and behaviors, by establishing global community as a common commitment of liberal religion, initiating partnerships that promote global friendships, international awareness, human rights, and a better world. Because we are online, we invite you to give through your phone or on our website. To give by phone, text FOURTH, FOURTH, U, to 73256. Click on the link you receive in reply. If you haven't given over text before, you will be prompted to give your payment information. If you have, just click to give. To give to our website, just go to www.fourthu.org/giving and click the link to the Sunday offering. Soyal has posted the information in the chat. Thank you for your generosity in this season and this great time of need.
Hi there, I'm Josh Johnston. I am the Director of Music in Dublin Unitarian Church, and it's my great pleasure to share another musical offering with you. I heard Sean was going to do a virtual choir, and he inspired me to do one with our own church as well, and so that's what we're going to present now. I'm very pleased to say that various members of a choir I sing with and the various members of our congregation sing with, Latari Vocal Ensemble, helped us out with this. So it's a mixture of our church choir, members of our church choir, members of Latari Vocal Ensemble, and a couple of friends, including Sean. Thank you, Sean. Not all of whom are in the video because we couldn't fit them all on the screen. So thank you, and please don't take offense if you're not in it. But I did actually want to, I meant to refer to our previous musical piece earlier on, because I believe a few people have been asking Sean about it. The instruments in the previous one were the uilleann pipes, the flute, the concertina, and the fiddle. And the family, Aina's here today, and thank you, and it's lovely to see you. But they attend our church quite regularly, and it's always lovely to see them, and it's always even more lovely when they play for us. So we thought that would be a nice thing to share with you today. But this is something different. This is a mixture. Since I have been doing the carol service about 14 years ago, I've always had O Little Town of Bethlehem in the carol service. And pretty much at least once a year, I have somebody from America who says, but we're not doing the American tune. And I'm always reminded that there is an American tune and there's a British tune, and we never do the American tune. So I thought, as we knew we were going to do this today, thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to have an arrangement with both tunes in it, as what I call an arrangement of transatlantic solidarity. So we've put this together. Various members of the choir are here today. I can see Darren there, and it was brilliant working with you all. It was a new experience for a lot of us, and I had not done a virtual choir before. So thank you to everyone who got involved, and I hope you enjoy it. This is an arrangement with both tunes of O Come All, no, not O Come All You Faithful, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Enjoy.
O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie, above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by, but in thy dark streets shineth thy everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all thy years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary, and gathered all above. One mortal sleep the angels keep, their watch of wondering love. O morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to men on earth. How silently the wondrous gift is given. So God imparts to human hearts the blessings of his hand. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him still, the dear Christ enters in. O holy child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. Cast out our sin and enter in, be born in us today. We hear the Christmas angels, the great glad tidings tell. Oh, come to us, abide with us, our Lord Emmanuel.
And so our time with each other comes to an end, each of us returning to the hustle and the bustle and the busyness of our own lives. But each of us hopefully taking with us the joy and the hope of our time with each other. So we end our service with a blessing. This holiday and Christmas season, may the light and hope that is all around us at this time of year find a home in our hearts and in our lives. May we glimpse the goodness within ourselves and in all we meet. May each of us have a wonderful holiday season. May its joy resonate in our hearts and in our lives. May each of us go in peace.
So thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Reverend, for those wonderful closing words so that we can extinguish our chalice on those lovely thoughts. My name is Soyal Smalls, and I'm the Director of Membership and Hospitality at Fourth Universalist Society. I want to thank everyone from Ireland, from England, and obviously from Fourth Universalist Society for being here today, both the staff and ministers and congregants alike. We are so grateful for these chances to be together from around the world. It's very exciting to be able to do this and be in community together. Thanks especially to Reverend Bridget Spain and Reverend Mike O'Sullivan, Josh Johnson, Gavin Byrne, for partnering with us and being such good friends of our congregation. In a few moments, we're going to be transitioning to coffee hour. And there's a tradition that I know is special in our communities. But before we do that, I have a few announcements. So no matter who you are, know that you are always welcome to join us at Fourth Universalist services, which take place at 4 p.m. Irish UK time. Next week, we'll have a very special multi-generational holiday program led by our children and youth and families. And we also invite you to mark your calendars for 2 other online holiday programs. And those are going to be posted in the chat shortly. So we have the winter solstice service, which is happening December 21st at 7 p.m. and our Christmas Eve service. That's going to be December 24th at 5 p.m. We also have created several holiday playlists full of wonderful Hanukkah and Christmas music. So we hope that you'll check them out. And those will also be posted in the chat for you to click on and enjoy. So, as is our tradition at all of our congregations, we are now going to gather for a coffee hour. And this is a great way for new people to meet each other, as well as for our members in our congregation to reconnect with one another. So this is a very exciting time right now for cross-congregational interaction. So this is a chance for us to talk about the service. And during that time, we're going to be breaking up into what I call coffee pods. And the groups will be about 8 to 9 people, depending on who stays for this portion of the service. And you'll be unmuted for about 15 minutes. We invite people to answer 2 of our guided questions, which will be posted in the chat. And so take about 2 minutes per person when answering the questions. So think about what you would like to share about how you're doing. You don't have to share, but we'd like to check in and get to know you a little bit. And then also the other question is, what do your holidays look like this year? So how are you improvising? How are you creating that holiday spirit during this very interesting time of year that we're having? So I hope that you'll stay for our 15 minutes of coffee hour. Once we come back together as a larger group, I'll share a few of our reflections for the rest of us to kind of think about for the rest of the week. And then you can stay with me until 1 o'clock for a kind of a casual coffee hour. So I hope to see you all soon. Enjoy your pods.